I thought it would be really important that I update everybody in my constituency on the work that I'm going to be doing now that Parliament is back in full session after the summer recess. So this is the start of the real work in Parliament. In terms of what I'm going to be concentrating on, the big thing for me is the key date of October the 20th, when we will know what the comprehensive spending review looks like. That might sound technical, but that effectively is going to be how the coalition government is going to be taking forward its budget. And there is a real fear that the cuts to public expenditure will be so great that we could go into a double-dip recession, which is exactly the concerns that we have. Just recently, there's been a report by the BBC looking at whether or not certain parts of the country are going to be hit hardest by the decisions of the so-called Star Chamber. And so a key part of my work with my MP colleagues across North Staffordshire is to go directly to the departments of business and the departments of local government and communities to argue the case to get more than our fair share of regional investment funding into the local economy in Stoke-on-Trent. And that is going to be my key priority. We've already had meetings with Vince Cable, the Secretary of State, and he has given an assurance that he will try and visit our area, and we have briefed him on the importance of the local economy. So that's a key part of my work. In this year's parliamentary session, I was lucky, having tried for 23 years to draw a lot for a private member's bill, and never having done so. This year I was lucky, and this year I drew number 9 in the ballot. And I've decided that the bill that I'm going to be introducing is going to be about where public money is spent buying food, say when people are in hospital, or for the prison service, or for Ministry of Defence or Armed Forces, or wherever there's food that's purchased out of the public purse. We owe it to ourselves to get a good value for money, and essentially not to be serving up rubbish, because if you serve up rubbish, you're going to end up with huge issues about ill health that's going to be more costly in the long term, etc, etc, etc. So my bill will be to have a code of practice to get good food that's sustainable and nourishing, helping local farmers, helping local economy, served off tableware from hopefully North Staffordshire. That is the code which determines how food is procured. So a lot of my time is going to be spent doing what I can to get that bill onto the statute book. I'm sure that many people will know about local issues, and obviously how Stoke-on-Trent Council and Newcastle Borough Council defend constituents is going to be a matter for them. So I think I want to be working with local councillors to protect people and safeguard local services as best we can. But it is the case that a key area for me is swimming. I'm very disappointed indeed that the free swimming for pensioners and for under 16s has been taken away by the government. But there's also another issue which is about the facilities that we have locally, and I'm working and doing all I can to suggest alternative ways in which the council might be able to do or change its policy and to abandon its proposals to close down Tunstall Pool. And I've just made sure that there's money to invest in the swimming pool at Holden Lane, having of course already improved the swimming facilities at James Brindley High School. A key part of my work in this session, now that I've been elected as chair of the prestigious Environmental Audit Subcommittee, is the work that's involved with that. That effectively means that we meet every Wednesday afternoon, take evidence, take public inquiries in terms of Parliament's scrutiny of government, and it means as well that I meet with all the other senior members of Parliament who, like me, chair important parliamentary committees on the liaison committee, which occasionally gets to interview the Prime Minister as well. I'm really keen to link up with local constituents. I've had to make some changes to my constituency surgery arrangements, simply because this time the constituency I represent includes Kidsgrove and it didn't do before, and because of the change way in which the expenses operate, that there are limitations in the amount of time and how we can make arrangements for surgeries, but what we want to do is to deal with as many queries and requests for help as we can through my constituency office, where Adele, Rachel and Louise are currently working, in order that you can contact them for me to take issues up, and then we'll be letting you know about arrangements for surgeries in addition, where you can talk directly to me. Other than that, there's just a huge agenda. Issues are coming up all of the time, and I'm very keen for those who want to know more about the detailed work I do in Parliament every day of the week to let me know, preferably by email, and then we can keep you informed of my progress. Other than that, it's full steam ahead for the work that's going to have to be done under very difficult circumstances. The BBC have warned that we face the worst cup since the Second World War, and I think it's going to be a very, very difficult time. People need to know that their Member of Parliament is working on their behalf in Westminster, and speaking from my desk, looking out over Big Ben and Westminster Abbey, that's what I'm trying to do, and I hope to work with all sections of my community and keep you all in touch with the work that I'm doing, and I look forward very much to your feedback.